It's Speaking with Gravity, and I am Kervin.
I'm Dee.
And I'm Brittany.
And we're a mental health podcast focused on bringing awareness to our community locally, nationally, and worldwide. We focus on how everything affects everything, especially your mental health. And today we have a guest. We have a guest with us. She already said her name, Brittany. But Brittany, can you tell us just a little bit more about yourself? Just give us, because I ain't give them anything, so you just got to give them everything.
Okay, absolutely. My name is Brittany Lockhart. I am a family nurse practitioner here in Greenwood. My office is located at 1610B Calhoun Road, and the name of it is Imperial Healthcare. I do family medicine, so I practice across the lifespan from about 6 months on up. We've been here in town for almost a year now.
You enjoying it?
I am.
That's what's up. All right, so she do family medicine. We do therapy. We're therapists, but this isn't therapy. It's a podcast. And today we're going to talk about, it's March, which is Women's History Month. So we wanted to make sure that we highlight, as far as a guest is concerned, a young lady. I don't even, in today's time, you don't know if you're supposed to say young lady, female, woman. I'm just going to say what I would normally say. Just want to highlight a woman, in particular a woman of color, that is making history right now as we speak in her own right. So our Twitter discussion, which is what we do at the beginning of each episode, to kind of pick something off of Twitter and then just kind of dialogue into what we're going to go into. So our Twitter discussion today, it comes from somebody. But anyway, they said, just a reminder that March is Women's History Month, and I hope that black women would take the time to celebrate themselves and the other wonderful black women in their lives. That being said, I would like for each one of y'all after me to give a woman you celebrate in your life and why. And this one was easy for me, which is, of course, my mom. Without her, I wouldn't be here. Without her, I don't think I would think outside the box like I do. So she's the person that I want to celebrate. Shout out to my sister too. But I really want to highlight my mom and all that she's done for us. She kind of held back on her career so that she can be at home with me and my siblings for up until I got into high school. She worked off and on, but she took jobs that she didn't have to take so that she can have the schedule that she wanted to always be there when we needed her. So definitely appreciate her. Shout out to Mom Dukes before Mother's Day. She's my woman history person. So, D, I'm going to let you go ahead, and then we'll get to Brittany.
So my woman of celebration would go to none other than my previous supervisor. Well, actually, she's still my current supervisor, and my mentor, Miss Christy Bird, licensed independent social worker. Also, happy Social Worker Month to all my amazing men and women in the field of social work.
She a supervisor?
Yeah, she is. She is the actual dean of the Human Service Department at Piedmont Technical College.
I did not know she was a supervisor.
I'm sorry, department chair. I said dean. I'm trying to promote her. My bad. She is the department chair of the Human Service Department here at Piedmont Technical College in Greenwood, and a phenomenal being all across the spectrum. Just one of the most empowering women I've ever met, and I wouldn't be able to sit in this seat without her. She was my professor during graduate school, and after graduate school stayed in contact with me, and when the opportunity presented for me to do adjunct teaching, she opened that door, and then the opportunity presented for me to become a full-time professor, and she opened that door. And then, when I got ready to transition from micro social work, she was very supportive in my transition. And if you've never had a a woman of color being a woman of color. And as a supervisor, one of the most amazing things is to have someone who believes in you and supports you. And I can go on all day about just how amazing she is, but shout out to Miss Christy Bird.
Oh, this was up, man. I didn't know all that about her.
Yeah,
I knew
she's
of her, but
amazing.
I didn't know all of that.
Yeah.
Brittany, who's your person?
Well, I'm like Dee. I have a couple people. The first person I would definitely say is my mom. She was a single mom of 6 kids. I'm the baby. I was the oops kid. So it's a 13-year age difference between me and my siblings. So me and the next sibling. So my sisters, my older sisters, they act like my mom now. But I would definitely say her because she was a beast. Like, she was strong and she was gonna push you when you didn't want to push yourself. I remember when I graduated from high school, I told her, I said, well, Mom, I'm gonna take a break for a little bit. She said, no, because if you take a break, you're not gonna go back to school. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay. So when school started back, when college started, I enrolled, went ahead and went to upstate and got those 4 years knocked down and finished school. So definitely her. Another person I would say would be the co-owner of my office. We've been friends since we were 12, and she took the leap of faith with me to open up the office. And so when we decided to do it, it was a lot of mornings I woke up and I was like, I think I'm crazy as hell. but
It get like that.
But
sometimes.
we worked on it, and I was like, we really gonna do this. So she was like, yeah. So I definitely celebrate her. Her name is Tiana Wyatt. She couldn't be here. She had a prior engagement, but definitely celebrate her. And I would say another important person is Mary Mahoney, which she was the first African-American nurse. So she set the tone for me and everybody else that's around me. So
definitely thank you for dropping that jewel.
Jewel,
Yeah, I didn't know who that was.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Say her name one more time.
Mary Eliza Mahoney.
She was the first African-American nurse.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's what's up. For Women's History Month. While we do a quotable data, QD of the hour. While all women have faced hardships with unemployment, it appears black women encounter additional battles. In December of 2021, the unemployment rate for all white individuals was 3.2%, while the unemployment rate for black women was 6.2%. And that is coming from the Columbus Urban League. I actually seen it somewhere else where it was 6.1% just last month in February for black women. So that's our little QD of the hour, to kind of lead it into the introduction that Dee about to give you.
Okay. As black women, we are often seen as the matriarchs and leaders of our families and communities. Whether it's in the role of a girlfriend, wife, mother, sister, aunt, friend, employee, co-worker, caretaker, business owner, we give out a lot. And it seems we are expected to proudly serve in these roles since we are often referred to as the strong black woman. However, it can become exhausting to constantly be on point at all times, and we may neglect our physiological needs. One way to prevent this is to explore our needs and ask ourselves, what do I need from me, from others, or in general? Let's talk about it.
And as this topic kind of came across my desk, because I talk to different people and they say different stuff about different topics that we should have. I didn't get it at first, but there was a lot of people wanting to know about this. And the reason I didn't get it is because I had the assumption that y'all are supported within this community, within at least within our community. The thought is, yeah, we support y'all. But as I kind of dived a little bit more into it, that introduction says a lot, in that you're always referred to as this strong black woman. and you're just expected to have kids and lead the household, and go out and work and lead in the community and lead in different various fields that you may go into, and just never thought about like what am I bringing to the table, how am I supporting black women. So that being said, what can I do? What can I do to be more supportive? Of course, I think I am already, but I want to be enlightened today. So what can I do? Either one of y'all can go. I don't care. You got. You look like you got a whole list over there.
You know what? I'm not. I'm actually not going to. I want to think about my thoughts, so I'm gonna yield the floor to Miss Brittany on this.
Brittany, what can I do to support you, especially even with you deciding to have a business here in Greenwood? I saw the signs, just because I kind of go down that road, so I saw it. I didn't necessarily connect it with you initially. My wife told me about it. I guess she had looked it up. I don't know. But how can I be supportive?
I would say, like, a way that you can support us is basically just like give us a little word of mouth, like just kind of let people know who we are. As I mentioned to Dee, there are still people that don't know that we're there. There are still people that don't know who we are. Like I was telling her, I was born down here, but I've been in Spartanburg since I was 6, and I'm almost 40. I did come down here and live 1 year when I was about 14, but I've been in Spartanburg the whole time. I've practiced in Spartanburg the whole time because I've been in the nursing field for about 15 years, 5 being a nurse practitioner. So I was telling her, I said, we could have easily opened up shop there where everybody knows me, and the path would have been much easier, I'm sure. But we saw a need down here, and we wanted to bring something different here and also bring something where people could come somewhere where somebody that looks like them is taking care of them. Because I feel like now people aren't as trusting in healthcare providers as is, so they want to feel comfortable when they come into the office, or if they tell you I have a problem, they want to know that you're going to try to help them with it. So I would mainly say that even something simple as that, just like I said, just letting people know who we are, because like I said, a lot of people don't know we're here. And we are actually the first African-American independent female practice down here, ran by a nurse practitioner.
Creating history right here.
So we meet people sometimes on a whim, and then sometimes, like I said, just different ways, and people will say, hey, I'm glad we found out about y'all.
So what about personally though? Like how can we support you as a black woman personally, or do you feel supported in general?
I will say for the most part, I do. I think with the support system, it depends on the circle that you have around you, because that plays a lot on like your mental strength and things of that nature. I do have a lot on my plate sometimes, so I do have friends that will call and check and say, hey, did you eat today? Did you do this? Or did you do that? So it works out well. Just, I think, having a good core circle, and even whether that circle is like family, friends. I do have people that say I don't deal with people a lot like that. But just that, just small stuff. It doesn't take a lot. That's one of those things where it's like the little things count.
All right. You got your thoughts together over there, D?
I'm still rambling, but we can go with it. Present the question to me again.
What? See, this is what I'm talking about. Y'all want support, and then don't know how you want support. We were talking about that in another episode, right? How can I provide support we'll make it personal. How can I provide support to you with us knowing each other and you being whatever you are right now? How can I support you? How can I be on the same level as Miss Christy Berg that you talked about?
Well, I think it's, I want to give, credit to you as to who you are and what you do. The man that you are, and on this platform is who you are in general. I think you already are very supportive as an African American male because you have the desire to be supportive. You are genuine in, wanting to know kind of where we are. And I can speak for me and Taisha, even in her absence, where we are mentally, how we doing, how are we moving forward professionally, even giving us some relationship talks on how to
that y'all don't listen to.
How to get us together. So, in terms of kind of you personally, I think you already do that for us. And I think from, speaking for myself, I value that and I appreciate what you do. I think also, just your commitment to fatherhood, to marriage, to, your spirituality. You demonstrate that there are men of color who are valuable and who value us as women. And in honesty, how do you do that is you be that. And that's exactly what you do. I mean, I think people, you want answers in how do we support black women? You just do it. The same way that you support any other thing. Like, the same way you go out and support an athlete, you go out and purchase his jersey. You go out and purchase their shoes. You go out and do these things. They ain't asking you to support them. You make an initiative because that's what you want to do. So how do you support black women? You show up. No matter where we are, no matter who we are, show up. You know what I'm saying? I remember, for an example, we were riding one day. I can't tell you who this is, but we had a flat tire. And I will tell you, we were in a community where the people in that neighborhood looked just like us. There were several men who walked past us. Now, we were two African-American women, walked past us with a flat tire. Very few offered help. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And that doesn't mean that they have to, but you got two women with a flat tire. You looking at me like, what you want me to do? And you know what I'm saying?
Can I speak to that?
No. No. But in that moment, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't either whether I was receptive to it or not. The show up was, do you need anything? Can I help you? Do you have a spare tire? That's how you show up. It's when there's a moment a moment of lack of safety or lack of security, you show up. And that's kind of what it is. You just be visible. No, let us know that you are there. I don't want to have to physically touch you. I just want to know that you're present. But you can speak to it, but
well, the reason I wanted to speak to it because there is, from my standpoint, there's a fear that I'm going to be misinterpreted. There's a fear that I'm going to be, you know me. Right. So it's a little bit different if somebody knows me. But when they don't know me, I'm just another guy. All right, this guy stopped. Yeah, I might have asked, can I help you with the tire, but do I have an ulterior motive? And in today's time, I don't want people to be fearful of me. I don't want them to be scared. And I have those thoughts even within my own community, not just like if it's another race or anything, but I have stopped for people, but the times that I've stopped for people, I've been with my family. Okay. So there should at least be some comfort from their end that, okay, he not finna go crazy because he got his wife and kids in the car. But if it's just me solo dolo, I'm hesitant to stop because I don't know how I'm going to be perceived.
But I think that's the thing, though. You're offering, right? So whether I accept or decline is the fact that you even offer. It's when you walk past me, look at me, and keep moving that I got a problem with. You know what I'm saying? But
in the neighborhood?
In the neighborhood. But again, you know what I'm saying? I think that it speaks to kind of where we are at this moment is that there is such a heaviness in the Black community where we don't know how to show up for each other in many elements, from a woman to a man, because our views, we've allowed other people to kind of tell us how we show up and support people. Like, we really have to have these conversations with ourselves and amongst ourselves. So me having this conversation with you, telling you to show up, you're already doing that. I got to go and have this conversation with other people so that I know how to show up for them, vice versa, because we all have to show up. I know this is about Black women, but we do all have to show up for each other. And so, you know, the fact of it is when you offer, I may say to you, I appreciate it, because that's what it was. We did have one or two, so I'm not going to admit everyone. We had one or two out of about 10 who did offer. But the thing of it was, we had to wait on the tools and other stuff, so it was like, no, you know, thank you so much. Okay, you're not going to go down the road. You're not going to go to the road of judgment. You're not going to go to the road of judgment. It is the intention, right? It is the intention. It is the willingness to help. That's what we're talking about. Okay, I'm done.
All
See
right.
how you want to?
I mean, y'all didn't have no
chew
tools.
me up and spit me. I can't remember. I think we didn't have. We might have had them. I don't know, because I don't even think
You might have had them and didn't know that you had them.
I think they were in the back. You know, most cars now come with them, so I'm pretty sure we did have them.
But I even think about that too. Think about if my daughter is in the same situation, or if my wife was in the same situation, how I would want them to be helped if I'm not present, if I'm not able to be there. But still, I have, and I don't know, it might just be me personally, I have a fear of being misinterpreted or somebody being scared because I stopped to help. You just don't know.
That's the trauma. When we deal with it, that's the trauma.
I ain't had no trauma in that regard. I guess,
Secondary trauma.
yeah,
It's the trauma
yeah.
that we
Seeing stuff on
witnessed.
TV and all of that, yeah, that could be. I even, to some degree, have my own fears. Like, all right, is this person trying to set me up?
Right. Now,
You know,
that's the truth.
and especially if it's at night.
No, it was daytime.
It was during daytime.
Yeah,
Good.
it was morning to
So
be
y'all
morning.
wasn't creeping, okay.
No.
All right. But during the daytime, I don't know. I might have been a little bit more apt to stop. Do y'all feel protected? In general, as a woman, as a Black woman in America, protected. You could take that protection any kind of way you want. You could take it. You could take it physically or just in general. Do you feel protected? And I guess I'm gonna keep coming at you, Brittany, from a business standpoint, because you're out there on your own. Like, that's a big leap, right? Mm-hmm. But do you feel protected? Like, all right, I got. You know, when you decide to have your own business, you got the fact of having a business, but then you got the laws within that particular field that you're in.
Correct.
So you feel protected from the standpoint of, okay, I got mentors that are helping me with this process. I'm just having to figure it out on my own.
Well, it was some research, and then some of it is figuring it out on your own. Mm-hmm. Experience is the best teacher. So I honestly, and I'm not saying that I'm too proud to ask for help, I will, take a chance, and sometimes I may ask somebody, hey, how did you go about this, or how did you do that? But I try not to do that too much, because what I feel like is that everybody has their own path. You can have the next person that's doing the exact same thing that you're doing, but the way that they went to get to where they were is not the exact same route you took. So what may work for them may not work for me at all. And I'll give you a prime example. Like, before I got ready to open the practice, I'm in a group on Facebook, and it's like a Black nurse practitioner group. And I did like a question, and I was like, for practice owners, when you got ready to open up, did you have your own funds? Did you get loans? What did you do? Everybody had a totally different answer. But a lot of people was like, oh, I had the money already. And I was sitting there thinking, like,
What kind of money they had?
where was y'all working at to get all this kind of money? But, so everybody's path is different. But as far as like, do I feel protected? I do to a certain degree, but I always have my guard up simply because there are you sometimes you have things that are innately just pitted against you. For one, like I'm African American, and I don't want to use the race card as a thing, but there are times like I have been in practice, like not even at my own practice, at other places where people come in and they'll say, well, instead of, before I even listen to their heart and lungs, well, where did you go to school at? How long have you been doing this? Okay, so we're going to do that. So what I do is I give them my resume. I tell them, everything about me. And then this is bad, I shouldn't do this, but I talk so far over their head that they have to ask me to dumb it down. That's because you trying to come at me in a sense to where I have to put a defense up. So in some aspects, yes, I do feel protected. Now, like, I will say if I get stopped by the police, like, I'm always jittery about that because it's so much going on.
Even with are you more jittery when you're by yourself, or it's about the same, whether you by yourself or you with somebody or with your family?
It's just in general. Like one day, me and my business partner, we were in the car. We were actually down here, and I got stopped by the police, and she was like, you was just like so nervous. And I was like, yeah, because there's so much going on. I don't want to, give them the wrong idea. You think I'm reaching for something and I'm just trying to get my information out for you. I have 2 children, and basically what happens with that is they call it a simple mistake, and then I'm all over the news as she wasn't even a bad person. I never even been suspended from school, so that's in that aspect. Yeah, I would say it just kind of depends on the arena that you're in.
Yeah, that I don't know, but the police thing has gotten better for me. I've just had so many good interactions in the last 2 to 3 years, me personally, and it seems like they went over and beyond. Now, mind you, the situations have been close to home. They've been in Greenwood. They've been in Abbeville. I haven't had any, far out. So maybe it'll be different. Maybe they recognize my last name or something, because I do got 2 other brothers that they may recognize for whatever reasons. But they have been really, really good to me in this area. So, and then usually I'm with one of my kids, and I feel safe with my kids. I guess I'm supposed to be protecting them, but I feel safe with my kids. And I do, I think it was T.I. say, I don't know what you do for your respect, but I'll die for mine. And, I might not necessarily feel about that way about respect, but I feel that way about my family. So, I don't know. I feel a little bit more safe when I'm with them. I mean, I don't have anything to lose when I'm with them. Accept them. But that's being said, with you being, and I digress. You have anything? No. That being said, representation matters in mental health, and it matters in every field. So the field that you're in, how did you get to this point where you said, all right, I'm gonna take this leap of faith. I'm gonna have my own thing. I'm gonna be a leader within this field. How you get to that point?
Well, actually, when I became a nurse practitioner, I set it out as a 5-year goal. And during that time, I said, well, once I've been a nurse practitioner for 5 years, I want to go for the gusto and try to go independent. So what I did was, while I was working for other people, I would gather bits and pieces of what I wanted to take away from that experience. As far as like when I opened, hours of operation. I wanted to do something that was feasible for people that worked 12-hour shifts. I used to do a little bit of occupational nurse practitioner work at one of my jobs, and I would have a lot of people come in and they would say, could you refill like my blood pressure medication? I don't get off till after 5. I've already called my doctor's office one time and they filled it, but they won't keep filling it without me having a visit. So when we initially opened up on Wednesdays, we would stay open until 9 p.m. School started back because we opened up in the summer, but school started back, and so myself and the co-owner, we both have children, and we drive from Spartanburg every day, back and forth. So between an hour drive and then with us having kids that were back in school, we cut the hours back to 7 p.m. on Wednesdays, but still trying to allot it to where people could still be seen when they needed to be seen for important things like that. So just kind of I opened it up with that mindset. I'm a very meticulous thinker, and I think like way far ahead, and I'm one of those people that I create a plan A, B, C, and then I tickled a D, because you don't know what's going to happen. So within that 5-year span, my mom passed, and I kind of like lost the zeal to kind of do it, to kind of want to do it then. But one of my cousins is a pastor down here, Reverend Melissa Spencer, and I was at her church one Sunday, and she said, at the end of church, she came and she said, you're not supposed to be working for nobody. She said, you're supposed to have your own business. And I said, okay. I took the nuggets away, but I didn't do anything with them. 2 years to the date after that, almost 2 years to the date, we were at her church for something else. One of my sisters got baptized, and at the end of the service, she said, you got another job? I said, yeah. She said, you won't be there long. I said, Lord, I'm about to get fired already. I mean, what's going on? And she was like, because you're not meant to be there. And you're supposed to do your own thing. And so when we left church that day, my co-owner, she said, it's time. We got to get on the ball. And so she didn't push me in the back. She kicked me in the back. And we got rolling from there.
Now, your co-owner is a nurse practitioner too?
Mm-mm, she's an accountant and a business major. Right. We've actually been best friends since we were 12 years old.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so when they come to Imperial Healthcare,
mm-hmm.
you would be their primary physician, or you would work in conjunction with their primary physician? How does that work?
So the way that it works is there are a couple things. We do have people that come just for like acute stuff, like if they have a sore throat, cough and cold symptoms, things of that nature, because we do acute stuff as well. Or if
so, instead of going to urgent care,
they can come there. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Would
it be cheaper for them to come to you as opposed to urgent care? Or is it about the same?
Well, I would guess it's probably about the same if because we take insurance.
Yeah.
But we do have self-pay prices as well.
I guess the reason I was asking that, because when I think urgent care, I think ER. And ER prices are higher, or is that no longer the case?
Oh, that's absolutely the
Okay.
case. Yeah.
All right, okay.
Hospital prices are way higher.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So they can come there for acute care, stuff like that. If you need stitches, I can even do stitches. And if it's a situation where they don't need like acute care, if somebody wants to come for like just regular practice care, I can be their primary care provider. Or if it's a situation to where they don't want that, sometimes you have to let people get a feel for you too. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we've had situations where people may come in for acute stuff, and then they come back and they want me as their provider. And I've had some people come in, and as soon as they came in the door, they was like, I want to come here. I want to keep coming here. So it just kind of depends. And with everything that we do, all the services that we offer, we can pretty much take care of a lot of needs. Even down to like with women's health services, I'm able to do pap smears. Not able to take care of you if like you're pregnant or anything like that, but able to do pap smears. We do pap smears, STD screening. We do pre-employment physicals. If you need a PPD for employment, we do that. We do like a tuberculosis test, a skin test. A lot of times people that need those are in like healthcare areas. We do urine drug screens. We do IV hydration.
Now, what is IV hydration?
So like if you are dehydrated, we do fluids. I actually had a young lady that was pregnant, and she was like really sick in her first few months of her pregnancy, and she was going to the emergency room getting fluids. She didn't know we were there. I can't remember how she found out about us, but she would come into the office and get fluids every week. No crowd, intimate, very intimate. We have a IV lounge where it's like a couch in there. If you want music while you're getting your hydration, we offer that. So we offer over like 22 services right now.
So a lot of the stuff that some people would go to the ER for, they could just come and get the care there instead of going there, and then probably be in and out quicker too, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we have had cases where some people will tell us, I couldn't get in with my doctor, so I came here. Or sometimes that's in a situation like that, that's when you okay with being the side piece.
Okay.
That makes sense.
I like that.
You okay with being the side piece. We have people that, they just tell us straight up, like, I came here because I knew it would be quicker, or I came here because I couldn't get in with my regular physician. And so
if their regular physician prescribes them something or doing something with them, you can just extend it based off of what the history that they've had with that primary physician, and then you talking to them and seeing them.
Absolutely. And if it's a situation to where, like what they need, I can't provide, if it's a situation, for instance, if they need to see a cardiologist, if they need to see a heart doctor, I'll create a referral, because that's not my baby.
Okay. Do you feel validated by what you do, as far as just this particular career? Do you feel validated just by doing the act of providing a service, or is there other validation that you get, helping the community, people, inspiring people, so on and so forth?
Actually, I feel like I guess you could say validated, but in a sense, I don't look at it like that, because I don't really look for recognition like that, accolades or anything like that. What I would say is like one of my biggest accolades is like when I worked as a nurse at the hospital. I had a patient that she would frequent the hospital a lot, but she was alert and oriented. She could handle herself, and so she didn't come with family. She died. Her family put my name and one of the tech's name in her obituary because she had been going home talking about us. We never knew that. We never saw her family. Her family never saw us because she would always come by herself.
Right.
But to know that people feel like they're taken care of when they come see you, So I don't really need that, because I feel like I'm doing what God put in my hands to do. Because I tell people, if God tied my hands right now today, I don't have anything else that I desire to do. So I pray nothing ever happens to my hands or my mouth or my brain. So that's just how I function. Like I have always been raised to be just like very humble. I feel like grateful beginnings make for humble endings. So like everything that's transpired in life, it makes and molds you into who you are and who you become. I'm a nurse practitioner today, but I tell you what, when I was 19, I was climbing through the tubes at Chuck E. Cheese cleaning up pee when kids went in there and peed and getting in that damn rat suit. So, you know, as long as you stay humble, your path, what God has for you is for you. So your path will always be your path.
Now I know you talking humble. I need you to talk that talk right now, though. So tell us a little bit, just, we're getting ready to get out of here, but just tell us a little bit more about where I guess your educational background and Imperial. This is free advertising right now, so just put it all out there. Okay. Outside of the fact that you went to the unofficial HBCU of U.S. Was it USC Upstate? Yeah, I caught that. I had meant to say something earlier, but talk that talk real quick.
So as I mentioned, my name is Brittany Lockhart. I am a family nurse practitioner. I have been in the nursing field for about 15 years, 9.5 as a nurse, 5 as a nurse practitioner. I graduated from Upstate, USC Upstate, with my bachelor's, and
what was that in?
Nursing.
Nursing, okay.
Mm-hmm. With my bachelor's in nursing, and went straight to work at Spartanburg Regional. After I did that, I went back to school. I went through Walden University. It was online, and got my master's degree. Once I became a nurse practitioner, I worked for a direct primary care for a little while, and then I worked for a doctor's care, urgent care. After that, we opened up the practice here in Greenwood. As I mentioned, I can see anybody from 6 months on up, and we offer an array of services. Anything from, as I mentioned, laceration repair to pap smears, even chronic disease management like hypertension, diabetes, and thyroid disease. You can check out our website at www.imperialhealth-fmp.com. We're also on Facebook as Imperial Healthcare LLC. Look for the butterfly, because there is another Imperial Healthcare. It's in like New Jersey somewhere. We're also on Instagram as Imperial_FMP. I'm more than sure that's right.
All right. Well, we'll look it up, and we'll try to make sure I put it into the show notes, because we do YouTube, and then we do different podcast platforms like Apple, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio. So we try to put all of that information in there so people can, people. Sometimes they'll go and do the extra research, and sometimes they just want to click on a link.
Clicking on a link.
Yeah, so we're going to try to make sure that we have those links in there. So as we come to a close, subscribe if you haven't already to our YouTube channel. Subscribe to Facebook, Instagram. Like I say, we'll make it easy and put it in the show notes. For your event rentals, don't forget about 61 Event Rentals. You need a resume updated. You need practice for your interview. People still interviewing. You need practice for your interview. Get at D, and of course we'll have her contact information in the show notes. Gravity Counseling Group provides a BIPOC wellness group every fourth Monday of the month, and also our audio and visual production is handled by Mr. Winston. You can check him out on winstonjstewart.com. Thank you for taking the time to listen to us, to watch us. We appreciate that. Remember, we are therapists. Me and D are therapists, not Brittany. We're therapists, but this ain't therapy. It's a podcast.